So today we're going to talk about emotional impact on muscular pain. When we talk about emotional impact on muscular pain, we never think that emotion can cause pain. हम हमेशा देखते हैं कि physical aspect पेन को है या तो फिर hormonal aspect पेन को है, but we never think about how emotions can cause pain, right? क्योंकि हमें वो दिखता नहीं, हमें वो महसूस नहीं होता, we cannot see it, we cannot understand it. That's the reason we cannot watch that how emotion can cause pain in the body. But there has been a research done that has been found the importance of emotions in physiotherapeutics. People don't like to talk about emotions in physiotherapy. हमारा क्या रोल है? तो psychologist का रोल है. What people think it's a psychologist role, people think it's other people's roles, but we have an equal role in it. Because most of the times the clients grieves to us, they talk to us, they want to know about it. So we need to identify our skills to find the reasons in which we can help them. So what causes pain? First we have to understand what causes pain. Pain is a signal in your nervous system that something may be wrong. पेन क्या है? अलार्म फायर सिस्टम की तरह जो हर घर में हो सकता है. अब ये अलार्म फायर सिस्टम जो बजा, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वहाँ पे फायर. If there is an alarm fire system, it rings doesn't mean that it has a fire in the house. It can ring because of the smoke. It can ring because of the fire. It can ring as a false alarm. It can ring because of the other issues too. But we cannot all the time say that it will only ring because of the fire. Similarly, pain cannot always be because there is a physical injury added to it. Pain is just a body way of telling you that there is something wrong. What is it telling you? There is something wrong. You want to see what is causing this pain. Why it is happening. Once you know what is causing this pain, definitely you can help the client go deeper. So, emotional pain versus physical pain. Which one hurts more? We cannot watch it. There is no way that you can tell that physical is the cause or emotional is the only cause. Both can be equal. One can be more, other can be less. One can be less, other can be more. So it is an individual based idea of having what can be the cause of this pain. While physical pain and emotional pain are different, there is a research that suggests both types of pain share some neurological similarities, hence bodies cannot differentiate between either of these pain. So what we are trying to tell you, either it is a physical or emotional, both would be responded by similar neurotransmitters. ये हमें क्या बताता है कि both are being directed by similar neurotransmitters. So if the transmitters are same, can the body tell the difference? No. So this light and this light both have the same switch. Can you tell which switch is causing which light to turn on? No. It's hard to differentiate. So body knows language of neurotransmitter, synapse. Our emotions are nothing but synapse. Right or no? Our emotions are what? Synapse. When you train a sports person, what are you training? What are you training? Reflexes. What are reflexes? Synapse. Ultimately, both the end we are training the basic structure that is changing in the body is synapse. And once we balance the synapse, things will get normal. So for physical pain, there has to be an injury, trauma, surgery, repetitive stress or degeneration. But for emotional pain, there is no trauma, sudden onset, relief for a few days and comes back, no change whatsoever you do. You have done whatever on that client, but there is no change. It comes and goes back. It's not staying. It is a sudden onset. रात को सो जाए, morning you get up, you gotta pay. So we have no idea how it is going to be in the country. It will vary from person to person, day to day, how things will be changing. This is, we have a physical standard structures to measure. So MRI versus CT scan. Any pain we see, we put on MRI or CT scan. Get one MRI done, get one CT scan done, get one X-ray done. But do you know that one MRI is equal to 7,000 microsieverts. 1 year of radiation background. This is like if you go into Chernobyl, 1 hour if you're in that basement, you get 2,000 microsieverts, that's a radiation. Or 1 year of radiation is 2,000 microsieverts. Even this environment, we are getting radiations, natural radiation. So around 2,000. But one CT scan is equal, chest scan is equal to? 7,000. That is how many years of radiation you got? 3.5. And how many CT scan and MRI your clients brings to you? Imagine how much radiation they are getting.
Almost 20 years the radiation they get.
And what is the benefit they are going to get out of it? Are they going to get benefit or losses? They can't even imagine on it. So I'm not saying the CT scans are wrong. I'm not saying the X-rays are wrong. I'm not saying they are not to be done. But sometimes we get overdoing it because every pain we just want to go directly on CT scan and X-rays. We don't want to see the physical aspect. We don't want to see the emotional aspect. We don't want to do the judgment on it. We just want an X-ray and CT scan done, which is the reason we get more added pain to it. Because that radiation would reduce your neurotransmitters in the body to a certain extent and increase your nutritional outcome requirement too. So every pain, physical or emotional, at the same of your brain level or at the same brain, in both the natural chemical mucocords is released. Means when you are ignored by a person whose attention means most to you, the reaction in your brain will be similar to the physical pain. अगर आपको किसी का attention चाहिए, if you want attention from somebody and you are not getting one, you will get the same quality of pain as of a physical injury pain. Now that can be husband, mother-in-law, father-in-law, wife. So if you see most of the young people coming to you with the pain post-marriage, because either it's too much of ignorance or too much of burden, and you put them on the desk. Headaches, suppressed angers, we put it on the medications, where we don't want to look into the pain aspect. And once we start seeing the pain aspect of the body, definitely there will be change. So emotional pain were visible, heartbreak and suffering caused would be remain disenfranchised for long. So when we show up in our school, broken legs and arm, even a broken finger, we get garner more attention, concerns and consideration. Because people can see the splints of bandages that are likely to when our heart is broken. Right? If you have a broken finger or if you have a fracture, you have a splint or something, you go to a college, you go to your friends, they will say, oh my God, sorry, empathy would be there. But if your heart is broken, nobody can see, nobody can measure, that doesn't mean the client is not happy. So we like to do things what we see into it, but not like to correct it what we cannot see into it. So there are evidence that we heard and yet broken bones inflict more or prolonged cognitive, emotional and psychological impairment, heartbreak does. Everything has its own pain level. So I am not saying the broken bones don't have it. Broken bones has its own impact on cognitive level dysfunction, whereas heartbreak would have its own dysfunction in the body of its own. So body stores the emotions. Where? In the muscles. Okay? So you stop laughing, you stop crying, you stop reacting. A lot of people at certain age, they say I used to laugh a lot when I was a kid, now I don't laugh, I don't cry, I enjoy. And sometimes they need to see certain shows to make them laugh, but they still don't laugh from inside, they just laugh for the sake of the world to laugh about. So how can a body contribute to the pain? When emotions are flowing, they will only help us to move through the stressful experiences. इसलिए laughter shows and laughter helps people. Laughter clubs are there. Because when there's laughter clubs, when you move those muscles, when you laugh, unknowingly you move those muscles, they releases those emotions. People play dandiya, garba, others dances. Why the dances are best way to release emotion? Because the movement starts coming in. The movement moves the muscle, which again releases the emotions. So counter emotions. So these unresolved emotions get trapped in our body when they are built and fester, drainage our energy, leading a burnout, emotional imbalance, and eventually disease. So your disease, when these emotions are stored for prolonged period of time, they become your diseases. Diabetes does not come overnight. It takes 10 years of suppressed emotions to get a diabetes. Not you just ate sugar today and tomorrow you got diabetes. Blood pressure is 9 years, 9.5 years approximately. 9.5 years. When we are talking about any emotions that is coming to you, sometimes very acute pain, but diseases are like 8 to 10 years of storage. To bring about changes in the blood level, physiological level, and then come out. So they are long-term manifestation pains. So how emotions are causing your physical pain? It can be fear of loss, deep down hurt, anger issues that can cause pelvic disorder, muscle spasm, low bone density. So emotions. Have you seen these pictures anywhere? Have you seen these pictures anywhere? Crying, laughing, puzzled, disgust, angry, happy. Do you think you have taught them how to do any of these things? Do you teach these categories of ages to do any of these things? Do you teach your child, a baby, to cry, to laugh, to show anger? Do you teach them? They know it by instinct. That means their brain neurology already know how to react to certain stressors. We have not taught them. They know when to laugh, they know when to cry, they know when to show anger, they know when to be angry, they know when to be happy, because it's been already passed from the neurology. So they know how to react. So these muscles knows how to react to certain emotions. And when they cannot react, they are stuck. Those muscles stays in a contracted phase. That leads to that dysfunction of the muscle and emotional pain. So George Mender provided extensive theoretical and empirical discussion of emotions such as cognition, consciousness and autonomic nervous system. And emotion evoking stimulus triggers a pattern of physiological responses which is interpreted as a particular emotion. So any trigger, if you see a snake, your breathing would get faster, heart rate would increase, which is termed as fear. So trigger causes physiological responses, which is termed as an emotion. If you are able to solve the trigger, automatically the breathing would reduce, the fear will be gone, so arrhythmias will be gone. So in short, other emotions like fear and anxiety long throughout exclusively generated by primitive part of the brain. So it is not the client have thought how to be at fear about it. It's been in their brain, all their parts, the primitive part of the brain. And it's been the defensive mechanism behavior where the threat is encountered. The body would show these mechanisms as a protective mechanism of the body, where they want you to protect further and does not get damages. So discovered as a correlation to give stimulus and stimulation and resulted in a similar pattern of defensive behavior towards threatened human and non-human members. When potentially dangerous stimulus are presented, additional brain structures activates that previous thoughts. So sometimes you will see that you have fear of cat. You have a fear of cat or a cockroach or a dog. But you never had any encounter with it. No dog never bit you. No cockroach ever bit you. Okay. No cat ever touched you. But still you don't like them. Why? Have you ever thought about it?
Generational fear is a part.
It's a generational fear. So it's coming from the generation, your primitive reflexes from generation that fear has been transferred. So that experience has been transferred from generation how to behave you into certain discussed patterns. And now it is your chance to either relearn the behavior by touching it, experiencing it. Okay, the cat don't bite, I have such a nice cat. Okay, now I don't have fear. Then you can play the cat. No, these are dirty, they are not good. You always carry that fear. And being that kind around, that you don't want to see it, always starting your body because it's going to harm me. That muscle is going to stay in that contracted phase and ultimately cause the pain. Similarly, taking an example of a cat, now put another human that you don't want to see. A person you don't want to see. A relation you don't want to continue. And seeing that relation for a prolonged period of time. Every day you have to see, every morning you have to see at night. What would happen to your body? Muscle will be in that prolonged contracted state. Yes or no?
Yes.
And that prolonged contracted state in the muscle would be in, will ultimately result in what? Pain. And you are doing physical release. Will that create a change? What is it that you need to balance?
Emotion.
Fear of that relationship, fear of that thought. Once that thought change, immediately the body sees no more threat, the muscles will relax and there will be no more. So basic emotional theory which suggests that every basic emotion has a brain locus. That has been confirmed through functional MRI study. So 5-HT can be affected by punishment, emotional sad, dopamine reward, emotion happy, norepinephrine stress, fight or flight, emotional fear of anger, and this has been recognized by a lot of researchers. So every neurotransmitter you can see has an emotion added to it. So if you are saying that your serotonin is less or your dopamine is less, because you have so much of backlog of emotion. And if you release that backlog, all this your body can produce enough for you to survive. Or then can be produce enough but you cannot survive because the backlog is not clear enough. So how do affirmation works? People say, okay, I can do this and that, and I do a lot of statements in this, but affirmation does not always work in that way. So brain cells fires together, wires together. With one firing, for example, a synapse begins to form. In another word, one affirmation, a synapse begins to form. Let's say you are soon distracted by a problem or someone speaking a loud voice or by a dialogue. That synapse becomes tenuous, soon disappear to stop giving energy to that. So one thought is equal to one synapse. One thought is equal to one synapse. Right? This is what we thought, what we already talked about. Remember, what you're doing is body training. When we teach a student or when you're doing a sports training, what are we training up? Synapse. So we are not training neurology. We are training up synapse. The stronger the synapse get, the stronger the reflexes get. So your thought is equal to also one synapse. When you start thinking, when you start working, you know where A, W, E, S, T in the mobile, automatically that synapse goes towards that side. So our synapse is what we need to retrain. So once we retrain the synapse into positive, from negative to positive, the body will become positive automatically. Stop thinking about it. So in short, you want to strengthen the synapse. And how would that strengthening come? When you do it recurrent. When you tell just one time, go sit properly, okay, and after 2 minutes, sit properly, okay, and after 2 minutes. But every 30 seconds you get an idea, sit properly, sit properly, sit properly, sit properly, then it will go down. But this has to come from inside, not outside. So emotion equal to synapse. Negative thoughts weakens the synapse. No change in the synapse structure. Pain, posture, poor pain, poor posture, physical structure gets damaged. So you can get kyphotic, lordotic, scoliotic, genuvarum, genuvalgum, scanelogging, dental work, emotional pain, physical pain, muscle injuries, heel pain. Positive thoughts, strong frequent activation, changing synaptic structures, new behavior habits coming. But you need this positive affirmation constantly. There are two types of affirmations: verbal affirmations, sublingual affirmations. So there are two types of affirmations. One is
verbal.
Two types of affirmation. One is verbal affirmation, another one is sublingual affirmation. Verbal are again two types. Positive. And one is called clearing. One is called positive, one is called clearing. In an empty vessel, what can you add water? Right? So in an empty vessel, if you add anything positive, the body will get positive. Yes or no? You take a glass of an empty vessel, fill it with the black water. That is negative. Pura negative. Now you keep adding white water. Will it change the color? Clear water, not white water, clear water. Will it change the color?
No.
Why?
First you will remove the black water.
First you have to remove the black water, then add the white water. But a lot of people say, no, I'll give positive statement, it's going to change. Will it change? It will change, but it would need long time. Kitna time? You keep adding that white water till that black water becomes white water. So you need a long time. And the second option is
Clear
the black water and add the white water. Both works. But a lot of people says they don't have that much of time of duration of waiting for that long time. So if I put a black water, that is a negative thought, और उसमें मैं clear water डालूंगा to make it white or clear, how long it can take? I don't know. It can take 1 liter, 5 liter, 60 liter, 100 liters. Till it clears the complete black to clear, we cannot predict on that time. It depends on how dark the water is. So it can take days, months or years. But if you do a clearing state and then add the positive, then becomes the positive water. So a lot of people comes to us with negative thoughts. That's where we need to do clearing statement and then positive. And a lot of people will come to you with a blank spot. Directly you add positive. Blank ball होगा तो क्या करना है? Directly positive लिख दो. It's going to work the same. But we cannot judge a client कि you have an empty or a negative. So we give both some. But being telling it orally, I tell him sit straight, sit straight, sit straight. Or go and study, go and study, go and study to the kids. Will they study? Can they study? No. They will sit with the books, but they will never study. I tell you to sit straight 2 minutes. After 5 minutes, sit straight. After 5 minutes. Because the brain has negative wiring. It needs a constant push. But if I remove that negativity from the brain first, then why you don't sit straight, and then give you a positive statement, ultimately I don't have to tell you to sit straight. That will be your natural posture. But this is like a verbal or subliminal. Some people can listen to verbal if they have a positive acceptance to themselves. Okay, I'll listen to you. But some people brain cannot listen to that positive statement. Example, if you are angry and I tell you don't get angry, what would happen? Really angry and I tell you not to get angry, what would happen? First thing you will hit him only. Who the hell are you to tell me not to get angry? That would aggravate the anger. So sometimes the affirmation has to go subliminal. And this can be done when we do it with the affirmative water bottles. So subliminal implants use subconsciousness. Most of the time, but sometimes you don't necessarily hear them. So once we give you affirmations which you cannot hear, you cannot see, so your brain filters does not have a chance to filter them out. Automatically it will go into the brain. As soon as it goes into the brain, it's going to activate those filters. And ultimately you will stop thinking those negative thoughts and perceptions. So most of the filters, affirmations, we get self-affirmations, we prefer it to be done in the subliminal affirmations. So that the brain accepts it naturally, without resistance, with clearing and positive statements, so that it goes deep and clears your thought. So self-affirmation promotes health behavioral changes. This is the research has been done. Okay. How positive statements can change the health, the behavior of a client completely by just giving them right statements. Statements needs to be right. Is the on off I can create the meaning change of whole of the statement and you will never get the answers. It's like 10 people can make pav bhajis. And you will find that even a small, if you don't give them salt, can then anybody make a perfect pav bhaji? No. Why? Because that is an indispensable part of it. So that small right salt is like O-N-I-O-U-S in vowels, and on, the, can, be can change the whole meaning of the statement. So the affirmative statements have to be designed individually and customized. So self-affirmation theory is a theory which clears the repression from the body. What is repression? Repression is kind of a behavior we see. Have you met anybody in your family who says, I have told you, you have not called me in 5 years? तुम मुझे कॉल ही नहीं कर, तुम मुझे याद ही नहीं कर. You have not called them for years, and you don't even remember that you have not called them. This is called depression. Your body don't want to see them also, so you don't even remember them. Your body knows them, but does not want to see them, so they put you in the depression mode, and you will not about think about them at all. So that you don't get those painful memories again, and you won't call that uncle, auntie, whatever it is for years. Even though they keep telling you to call them, you won't call them, because your brain will never want you to call them naturally. Once you clear this repression, naturally you will call them day and night, and they will tell you stop calling me. So first we have to identify the source. What is causing this emotion? Inability, deficiency, instability, disconnection, weakness, disrespect. Small words which can mean a lot to them. Let's find what is affecting. Science said something hiding their feelings, withdrawing from people who matters them the most. These are the other ways to know that they are affected with emotions. You used to talk a lot to somebody, then you don't stop talking. You stop talking suddenly. दिन रात आप बात करते थे, then you stop. Rather deal with other people's problem than their own. They don't want to work on their own, but they want to deal with other people's problem. तेरा वो कर दूंगी, उसका वो कर देंगे, but मेरा नहीं कर. I won't do my own problem, but I'll do other people's problem. Self-esteem drop. They cannot stand for themselves. They cannot talk for themselves. Self-destructive behavior. They will do things till they die. They blow up over insignificant things. इसका कोई value नहीं, उधर उधर गर्म होना. I've told you are fat. Okay, what do you mean by I'm fat? I'm this, and then they still राई का पहाड़ करना कहते हैं. Small things, they would talk nonsense on that for hours and months and days. Sudden weight gain. So your weight gain is not because of you overeat. It is because it's an emotional storage. I read long back an article. A satellite sent from the country was 760 kg. From India, or from a country, sorry, I forgot the name. And when it was about to bring back, the satellite was 800 kgs. Suddenly, space में जाने के बाद, how 40 kgs gain? How can you gain so much of weight?
Satellite.
You don't go in space and change a part and come back. The same satellite running for 20 years and suddenly change 20 kgs or 40 kgs or whatever number. But why would a weight change? There is no dust, like particles sticking there constantly. Why? Because satellite is a storage communication. It's a communication satellite we use to store. So every message you send from here goes to the satellite and come back. But it has been stored there as a data for you. That means that data is a weight. That data is your. So imagine how much data you're processing every day. And that undigested data, which cannot let go out of the body, what would happen to that? Stored. And when that is stored, how would you feel that storing would go? In all directions. So that is your weight. Deterioration of gut health because of anxiety, because of that data stored. So you can get a headache because of stress in daily life. Neck pain, forgiving, not able to forgive. Shoulder pain, burdened over some sort of emotional pain. Upper back pain, feeling an unsupported love. Lower back pain, financial crisis or excess worry. Elbow pain, resistance to change. Knee pain, big fat ego. So these are your words carry the lower vibrations and higher vibrations. So it depends on how you choose your words. Would create changes in the body. So emotional release need a proper affirmation. Either you need a clearing statement or you need a positive statement. That depends on client to client. And this is just to start with. If you want to go with, send back to the sender with love. That is what we tell to the people. If it is not theirs, send back to the sender with love. But if you still not get about it, I would prefer you go with deeper affirmation bottles. So we have created bottles. Each of these stickers that we have created has a combination of sublingual affirmations on it. There are switch words, color coding, flower therapy, mantra, yantra, and healing frequencies. And each one is customized to each individual bottle. So these stickers, which have been designed, are individual bases with every affirmation statement, yantra, mantra, you can say switch words, or all other combinations that has worked for it. Where you need a clearing statement and a positive statement. You need a color, sometimes the color holds the value, sometimes the mantra holds the value, sometimes the frequency. Mantras are nothing but a positive affirmative statements. And all these are subliminally combined into a sticker, and that sticker we give it on the glass water bottle, which we allow you to have a drink. And the more you drink through it, automatically the subliminal affirmation will go in your body, and that subliminal affirmation will automatically clear those thoughts, feelings that you're carrying it, and automatically your behavior pattern will start changing. And once those change, you will have your own benefits out of that. So, working on the mechanisms of affirmations, person starts thinking positive thoughts, rewires the patterns, brain starts believing the new thought, and brain translates into physical reality. That is change in synapse. So we can rewire the pattern of brain with cognitive behavioral therapy or affirmations. Affirmation changes the way our brains are wired in our brain, lights up differently. So it's just this flow, and this flow is going to create a biochemical, neurochemical, neuropharmacological effects that is effective. It is not more effective than what you get with the medications. So these are our 123 affirmations systems that we have, out of which we can choose 3 to 4 to create one bottle, and then you can drink water through it. The more you drink, the better you will feel, and things will change accordingly. They are customized according to each of the clients and things.
So, along with these bottles, I mean, these are the subliminal kind of
Affirmations.
affirmations. You give them the verbal affirmations also, as you said, there are 3 ways.
If we identify that client needs a verbal affirmation, we give them verbal affirmations too. If we think the client needs only the other affirmations, we give them affirmations too. We can give them both.
Does it give them an added factor if we give them a verbal affirmation to use
Definitely.
repeatedly, keep saying this?
It gives them the added factor.
Or maybe write this 10 times, 20 times.
It does give them added factors. But if not, then we just put them to give them this basic factor and help you to go deeper. Okay? Thank you.